Hi everyone, welcome to Talkback. It's Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, and I'm really excited today because we have two people we've had on before, Roger Kuhns and Ann Schmidt, a dynamic duo, husband and wife, colleagues in all of their activities with climate change. League of Women Voters, they're very active in that as well. But I'm so excited because they've made a movie, a real movie, that they have produced, written, directed, composed music for, and it's so exciting that they're here. So hi, Ann and Roger, so nice
Sheila.
to see you.
Thank you.
This is an exciting journey that you're on.
Yeah.
So I know the last time you were here, you gave us a scientific lesson on climate change. So before we get to the movie, what is the emergency in your movie, the existential threat that's in your movie that you have to take care of with it?
We took a real-world example. There's a glacier in Antarctica called the Thwaites Glacier. It's the widest glacier on the planet, and it's slipping into the Antarctic Ocean very fast. There's a split in the published peer-reviewed scientific journals. Some say this is going to happen fast, in 5, 10, 15 years. Others are saying it's going to take longer. And that's the story of science. You're always collecting facts and you're trying to figure out the best, what's going to happen. So in our movie, we have it slide in fast.
Right.
Now, all the models and all the projections from the research done by real researchers there say if this happens, sea level could rise 2, 3, or 4 feet, depending on how much ice goes into the ocean.
And what are the consequences for the rest of the
Sea
planet?
level rise means coastal flooding and the drowning of over 20, 30 cities around the United States.
Wow.
And
There's maps that show whole coastal areas of Florida disappearing. In fact, I think the whole state, depending on how much.
2/3 of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see
So
those.
when you say that there's a split of authorities, are both sides of this split recognized scientists? We're not
yes.
talking about climate deniers.
They're not climate deniers.
Okay.
It's just an argument over how fast this is going to happen.
So there's no question it's happening.
Right. Everybody
So,
agrees it's happening.
What's the outside date by the people who say it's happening later?
100 years.
Okay, so that's why your climate change deniers are going to say, well, we don't have to do anything about it.
That's right.
And before we have to do anything about it, we'll figure out some scientific way to get around it.
And a real problem with taking that stance, let's wait and see what happens, is that because the Earth is warming up every year, since 1985, it's heating up 3 times faster than it did the century before.
But didn't you see the snowball in the United States Senate? We had a senator. He said, "What kind
We
of
still have
climate change?"
winters.
Here's and he threw the
I know,
snowball, right?
that was
Yeah.
so ridiculous.
Wasn't that smart?
So the thing is about when you look at the scientists trying to explain these complicated issues to the layman, a big problem is science is really looking at the percentages and the probabilities of an event happening. And so as we get more and more data, we have a higher probability or a percentage of confidence that that's going to happen. What people typically want to hear is it going to happen or not? And so one of the comebacks I say, okay, if scientists say that the Thwaites Glacier is going to slide into the ocean, and all of the scientists who are working on it say that's going to happen, half of them say it's going to happen soon, the other half later. If your investment person came to you and say, hey, I got a good investment, and there's a 50% chance this is going to happen fast, and a 50% chance it's going to happen slow, but it's going to happen, would you take the investment?
No, you're going to take a different investment, I would
Yeah,
think.
you'd probably take it because it's a sure thing, but it might be slow or fast.
If you want a fast investment.
That's right,
Right.
if you want it faster. And so people want 100% guarantees when they see science, but when they do their own economic forecasting, they will settle on very low percentages sometimes.
So who's opposing this? In other words, this is science, and there could be dire consequences for the planet, for American cities. They could disappear, the drowning. People can be dislocated. die, obviously. Okay, so who is against learning about the science and trying to do something about it?
So I think learning about the science is one way of thinking about it, but I think the people who are the deniers are taking the science and trying to provide an alternative interpretation of it. And a lot of those folks are proponents of fossil fuel industry. Fossil fuels create greenhouse gases and are responsible for the warming trend that we see. And that industry, of course, doesn't want to have that out there because they want to continue with
Their business.
with their business, oil, gas, coal, plastics. A lot of people forget that that's coming from natural gas. The whole industry would be kind of on the downward swing.
Yeah. Well, over the years, we seem to be moving in the direction of using solar, using alternative energy, the electric car. So it's happening, was happening slowly. And then, of course, we get an administration like we have now that wants to pretty much go backwards on it and wants to close their eyes to any possible dangers, right?
Oh, it's huge
Absolutely.
danger because it takes so much to move forward. For instance, this year, the Connecticut General Assembly passed HB 5004. It's a climate, environment, jobs, renewable energy bill. Ann and I wrote that bill 4 years ago. And then we got the amazing help of all these other groups in the state, the League of Conservation Voters, Sierra Club, Save the Sound, Rise Up and Sunrise, and Nature Conservancy, League of Women Voters, all the support, and it passed this year. But the original bill was carved up so much that it's moving us forward a little bit, whereas we could have moved forward a lot.
Isn't that how legislation kind of works?
It does.
Yeah,
gets
there are
cut
those
up and-
brief moments like the Civil Rights Bill and the Clean Water Act and the Clean Air Act that were big.
But we're going backwards from that too.
Now we are going solidly backwards.
yeah.
The funding's been cut to NOAA, to
EPA.
the EPA, to the climate research groups in the government. They're even having some of their stuff taken off the web so that people can't actually get the information.
So I always thought of America as inching forward.
Yes.
Maybe you backtrack a little bit all the time. There's always a force turning you backwards for a while, but then the general trajectory is going forward. We don't have that feeling today, do we?
No, you know, fortunately there are a lot of small and medium businesses, solar companies, wind companies, battery storage companies, or environmental and sustainability-oriented companies that are going ahead anyways, and that's why we see a slow increase in some of the renewables, the electric vehicles, stuff like
So
this.
it's inevitable. We're moving in that direction, but there are still the forces that are keeping us.
Yes.
And I would say it's not inevitable because we don't know what future administrations are going to be like. And when the parties are as fractured as they are right now, we don't have that solid leadership that you really need to steer through the icebergs in the ocean, so to
But
speak.
it's not just America. We
It's
had the
worldwide.
Paris Accords, which Trump took us out of, and all that.
Yeah.
How do you relate what's happening, what might happen to America, to what might happen to the rest of the world?
Very much, it's one-on-one, it's the same.
Same.
What's interesting is Europe is already, they're having huge heat events which are killing people. They've had incredible storms. They've got wildfires as bad as we have out west and in Canada. And what's interesting is some of these most developed countries are being hit very, very hard. The least developed nations are getting clobbered, and they are least able to move or to adjust to, you know, a whole summer of drought where they lose all their crops. And, you know, Ann and I have been to these areas and seen what happens right now, and it's been happening for a long time. So we decided with our legislative work, our science work, our education work, we thought, let's make a movie about our experiences, but let's not make it a documentary. Let's look at what could happen.
Well, I think it's great that you're making it imaginative and
Yeah.
sci-fi a bit, and you've got music that you're winning awards for. Your
Yeah, that was
music,
really, really
you're
wonderful.
besides a filmmaker and a scientist, you're a composer, Roger. Are you helping with the music
No.
too? No.
No.
Oh, she checks everything out.
You're producing.
No way,
You're
yes.
a producer. You're the-
Yeah, no, Roger wrote all the lyrics. and
That's fantastic. So it's great that you conceived it as a film that maybe will bring more interest. It'll be, and I assume there's some excitement because it's called Carbon
Carbon Men
Men.
Salvation, the Senator's Dilemma.
So we've got a conflict of a senator and something about his daughter is trying to convince him to do the right thing and pass the bill. So what is the solution? What was in your bill? What is the solution for dealing with this avalanche from this Antarctic?
So
Ice flow.
the primary solution is to put a price on carbon. And I think we talked a little bit about that in the last time. So really to have an impact that would make a difference, you need to have a rapid decrease in the use of fossil fuels. And to do that, you put a price on carbon. And that money, the way that the legislation that we've been talking about, that money would go back to the American people. So it's it would be charged at the well or the mine, wherever the
source,
the source. So the oil companies pay for it. And that money then gets put in a treasury fund and goes back to the American people, because in the short term, prices for fossil fuels will go up while that increase in renewables happens. So nothing happens overnight. So you have the increase of renewables with the leveling the playing field with fossil fuel energy sources, and over time, the renewable energy will be the primary source of energy.
And how much of that is going to help that glacier stop it?
Good question.
What are you gonna do?
That is literally $1 billion question, because
Literally.
climate change is like a snowball rolling downhill. You can get in front of it and slow it down. You might be able to stop it. But pushing it back uphill to get to where we were 100 years ago,
So that's what we're doing now.
we're trying to slow it down,
down.
rolling downhill.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to be able to go back to what it was like 100 years ago, climate-wise. There's just too much damage. And so we have these things called tipping points, and we talk about this in the movie, actually. And a tipping point is when the forces of nature and the forces of human behavior, through fossil fuel burning and stuff like that, tip us over a point where we can't easily go back, such as an environmental change so that ecosystems die off or change or get considerably restricted. The warming of the oceans, that we've hit these tipping points. And so we see and most tipping points are looked at in terms of climate modeling and the environment and meteorology and climate and the physics of the Earth. We took the term tipping point and turned it into the interplay between human behavior, scientific knowledge, and legislation. And so if we don't pass the climate carbon pricing bill in the U.S. House and Senate in the movie, then the future is very bad. If we do pass it in the movie, we have a chance.
We have a chance to stop the ball rolling down the hill.
That's right.
Right.
We're not going to ever get it back up the hill.
Not even,
We're
if
going
there
to
are-
keep it at bay,
Yeah.
maybe.
So if we
Are
can,
are there even better strategies than the carbon
there are,
tax?
so there's not one silver bullet, as they say. The price on carbon is needed in every economic model, and the carbon price is supported by thousands of economists. In fact, one of those economists, Gary Yo, is in the film. He's a real global climate economist that was on the Nobel team that
Really?
worked on
Oh,
climate
wow.
change. And we also have Christine Palm, a real Connecticut representative, now retired, but she was she's in
So
the film.
you talked about what you have done to help the Connecticut bill that just passed. That's great. What about in Congress? I'm sure that bills have been introduced. That have there been bills introduced that are similar to the bill that you have
Yes.
in the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In fact, the bill in the movie is modeled after the actual bill
Bill.
that we are part of Citizens Climate Lobby, a national, not-for-profit, and neutral organization. We're nonpartisan. And so we had conservatives and progressives supporting the bill. Not many conservatives, but some.
Okay.
And the bill actually is called the Energy Innovation and Carbon Dividend
So has
Act.
it ever gone into committee hearings?
It went into
Yes.
committee and stalled. And Nancy Pelosi, before the pandemic, told us that, look, I can get this through the U.S. House, but I won't put it to the floor until you can guarantee it gets through the Senate. So Citizens Climate Lobby has over 250,000 volunteers around the country. We have 3,000 in Connecticut. And I'm the state coordinator with Susan Chapin, who is the co-coordinator with me. She's in Mystic here too. And so we, all these volunteers across the country went to all of their senators and said, we got to get this. And
But they need 60%
Well, there were
to get
two.
it on the.
Yeah,
There were
there
two
were
holdouts.
Yep, and Senator Sinema was convinced.
From Arizona,
we
yeah.
won her over.
We won her over,
Tough.
but Senator Manchin was the holdout,
And he's funded by coal.
and
Yeah.
he's in the.
So we
coal
came
business.
within one
One
Senate.
vote.
So guess what?
What?
In this film, we have a junior senator, newly elected from New Jersey, as the protagonist. He's the main character there, and he comes from the oil patch. He's an oil engineer who
Is he
then
a Democrat? Or do you
he's
have,
a Republican.
He's a
Centrist
Republican.
Republican.
He's a good man. He's a good Republican, and there are a lot of good Republicans. But he's a new one. But he's getting the full force of the GOP on him to not pass this climate bill. Meanwhile, his daughter is in postdoc research on climate research at a university very much like Yale.
Like Connecticut.
That's the tension.
And
Okay.
studying Thwaites
And
glacier.
so,
Yeah.
kind
Okay,
of,
so the bill is coming up. It's been well, is it in hearings? It has to get out of committee?
it's coming to a vote in the floor of the Senate in the movie.
on the
In the
floor,
movie.
not just in committee.
Right.
It's out of
Are
committee.
you, are you talking in the movie or actual?
Well, I'm talking in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay,
And,
good.
and actual, you say it had been.
It
Right.
died
But it
because
died,
we were
yeah.
one short. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now with the current administration, we have
It
no
is-
chance of
we
There's
getting
have
no
it.
chance of it.
yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately.
But you also asked, is this what other things? There's a spread of things we as people can do. One is vote, and Ann's going to talk about that. The second thing is see yourself as an individual who can do what you can with the budget you have and the time you have, like electric cars. Like we saved up, put solar panels in the house, saved up, put battery storage in the house so we can run the house at night, saved up, got an electric car, which we charge off our solar panels. So that's our bit of helping and being examples in our community. We had our neighbors actually look at us and say, we're going to do that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second thing is vote for those people who will actually move us forward, not
Forward.
backward.
Yeah.
And keep the small businesses going.
So I know they take polling on every issue. Have you looked at the polling on this issue when they talk about what's most important? I know the economy, price of eggs comes up number one all the time. Where is climate change and the environment in the list of important things?
In the last administration, it was in the top 5.
Okay,
Now it's dropped down to the lower 15s.
yeah.
And that's largely because of the wholesale denial
Yeah.
by the current administration and those members of Congress who largely
Yeah.
support it.
So all the more reason that people should go see your film
Yeah,
to,
Yes.
to wake up from what's
and if
happening.
you have an organization, we're offering to do it as a fundraiser for your organization. You get all the proceeds, and the reason is we want to share this knowledge, this experience, this education, and then we have talk back
Okay.
afterwards.
Yep.
So from start to finish, how long did it take you to do this whole enterprise?
Oh boy. Roger first wrote a stage play that was performed at one of our Citizens Climate Lobby meetings. And then you did a monologue. So it kind of started in 2018 in the stage play. Over the pandemic, you converted over to a movie screenplay.
Wow.
And then once we started filming, it's 2 or 3 years total.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what were your sets? What did you use as your location?
Great question. So believe it or not, we were doing renovations in our house, and we were talking to the carpenter, and Ed Gaffney, and we were telling him what we wanted to do with the movie, and he got all excited, and we asked him to think about what it would look, how he could build a Senate office and a climate lab in our garage.
Wow.
So, and he was so excited. He went home that weekend, watched all these YouTube videos on how sets are made in
Wow.
Hollywood, and he came up with a plan, and we
designed it.
We designed it with
Wow.
him.
So
and
you
he
actually
built
have
it.
a Senate office, but you don't have the Capitol building area.
No,
And
but we
stuff-
filmed
the
it in
scenes take
DC.
place in Washington.
Yeah,
though.
we got permission to film it in DC as well.
You did?
So actually, we were filming on the steps of the U.S. Capitol.
Wow, that's terrific.
And we got up early in the morning before there was much foot traffic, and one of the policemen came up and said, "Yeah, you can do this, but you can't use a tripod for your camera." And I go, "Why not?" And he goes, "Well, we're worried that with the violence and everything, it could be a bazooka or a machine gun." And I said, "You can see it's a camera." And he says, "You're fine with me because I can see this. But I change shifts in 2 hours, and the next guy is even tougher on this, so you might want to finish." So we filmed everything in 2 hours
Wow.
on the steps.
So who were your camera people? How many camera people did you have?
Me,
Really?
in Washington, D.C., me.
You were the director, the cameraman, the editor. You edited the film.
Yeah, and we had this guy named Matt Johnson. We met him through a friend. And
Yeah, actually, that's a funny story.
that's a funny
too.
story, but yeah, tell it. It's funny.
So I was having a medical procedure, and I was just talking with the technician that was taking care of me. And I mentioned that we were making a movie, and she said, "Oh, my son, makes 10-minute videos, and he's at East Lyme, I think it was East Lyme High School, and he's gotten some awards, and he's going to UConn next year." And I'm like, "Do you think he'd be interested in maybe helping out with a movie?" And she's like, "I'll give you his contact, and you figure it out with him."
Wow.
And we did.
Yeah.
And Roger, it was so funny. So you arranged to have a Zoom
call. Yeah.
And I, that day, left in the morning, and I came back hours later, and they were still on the Zoom,
Wow.
comparing all their equipment.
So he's
and
up at UConn now
Matt
studying
Johnson.
He's
film.
graduated. Yeah.
He graduated now. And so he was available. We'd drive up to UConn and pick him up
Pick him up.
and bring him down to the set and then drive him back to
Wow.
school because he
Or
didn't have
home.
a car. Wonderful man, and really a young filmmaker. He's learning a lot, but he's got the right stuff for it.
Yeah.
And the neat thing about him, he's super techie nerd. And so we used a really complex camera called a Komodo Red 6K cinematographic camera. And it's a computer with a lens, basically. This kid knew how to, it was like, no problem.
Instantly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so very helpful for me because I knew that when he was on the camera, I could focus on directing and stuff like that.
And you had a cadre of actors, some from the community, some professionals, some not. You're in the film.
Yep.
Amazing. Well, let's show the trailer now. I think it's time we can show the trailer studio for the film. Shows the awards you won. Wow.
Bomb cyclones, tornadoes, hurricanes, wildfires.
What is so wrong with coal?
You want a list?
They're a bigger priority.
Bigger than saving the planet?
You're Anna Jones.
Senator Dan Jones from New Jersey. I'm new here.
How bad could it be?
We are looking at impending failure.
Stop! You're freaking me out. I don't want to live in that kind of future.
This is all about the carbon tax bill, the proposed one.
The ice sheet is the size of Florida.
Is Thwaites a doomsday glacier?
Dad, I need you to support that carbon pricing bill.
I don't even know if I'm in the right time.
Stop the carbon tax.
We are at the prime tipping point. This is the time to step up.
Wow, exciting. So are we going to get an answer at the end as to whether or not he votes for or against the bill?
I'm
won't.
going to let you.
We have to watch the
You
film
gotta
to
have
see
to
that. Of
watch
course,
the
I would
film.
not give that away.
Yeah.
So I have to watch the film to see that. And tell us about the time traveler who comes. Was that you?
Yeah, well, so we have 4 time travelers in the film, and I don't want to reveal all of them.
So they're
because-
coming from the future
Yeah.
to tell you what extinction of the human race because of climate change.
Yeah, and in the real climate models, the extinction of the human race is not really discussed, but as a scientist, the quality of life and the stability of the population is something that is a real threat. You know, that's a real problem. So we just love sci-fi, but also the climate work we've done and talking to all these young people that, we made a short 10-minute film for the League of Conservation Voters about 4 or 5 years ago, and we interviewed 30 young people around the state. And the young women.
Yeah, the young women, unsolicited, quite a few of them said that they were not going to plan on having any children to bring into this world.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the
Because of
climate
the-
issues?
Yes.
Unknown futures.
Yeah.
And so as I'm writing the screenplay, I thought, well, what if this person knows what's going to happen and can identify the point in history? And so often in politics and in culture, there's a point that steers us this way or that way.
Turning points.
A turning point, and we
Yeah.
call it a tipping point. And so the time travelers have found that point, and it happens to happen in 2025 in the U.S. Senate on this bill. Now, when we started making this film and started this whole process, we thought we were going to have it done way before 2025.
25.
Oh.
Yes.
But we got it done last year, and we entered
Just
the
in
film
time.
festival.
Oh, it's still a good. No,
So
it's
the
good
time
dates.
travelers,
Yeah.
I designed this. You might have seen the crazy
Yeah.
helmet. I
So
love.
who are some of the? So we have the senator. He's one of the characters, a
Yep.
Republican from New Jersey,
His daughter.
and he and his daughter have a good relationship.
Yeah, they have a great father-daughter relationship, but she is very much a progressive climate scientist, and he is very much a conservative oil patch engineer who's a senator.
That's an unusual combination, though.
Not so much as you think. One of the ways we see this a lot is in the Appalachian coal fields, where the younger generation is saying, hey, Dad, I don't want to work in the coal mines,
Right.
or I want to put up solar panels. And the dad is going, well, that's not how we do it,
Yeah.
And I've talked to these people. And then I've been through the Permian Basin in Texas, and you see a lot of people that say, well, I work here, but I know oil is a problem. And when you go to California, you have the other swing, where there's more people progressive in that sense. Then you go to Wyoming or Texas, and you have it swinging the other way.
Yeah.
And so we do really have different generations really thinking about where they set in the world. And when they start thinking long term, that's when some of the younger generations go, you know, we might really be in trouble. And they are. So the time traveler is somebody that knows what's going to happen, and so they can see alternate realities for the future. Because their future, the time traveler's future, the human race is facing extinction.
Right.
And that's not good.
So, do you think that climate science is taught enough in junior high, high school, college? No, we're not.
So Connecticut actually did pass a climate bill, and Representative Christine Palm was instrumental in that. And I think that was a couple of years ago.
3 now.
3 now, yeah. So that should be getting into curricula in around the schools in Connecticut.
It's really important.
And it's very, very important.
But up to now, it has not been a major.
It's kind of
issue
been
in
to the
science.
science teachers.
The science
and-
teachers, yeah. So
And sometimes the schools say, well, we just don't have the funds to develop a curriculum.
quite a few of the schools also have sustainability clubs and environmental clubs.
Environmental.
And those are ones that are really talking about these issues. And every year we've been working with Jason Hine with Rise Up Mystic with an Earth Day Festival or expo at the Groton Public Library. And schools participate in that. And it's usually the environmental or sustainability clubs that help
And
us
on the
out.
college level, is environmental science a big
Yes.
Yeah.
subject
It's
matter?
That's where
Absolutely.
it's really starting to boom. You know, Wesleyan, UConn, some of
Con
these
College.
places.
Yeah.
All sorts of universities across the country actually have really started and progressed a long way. I for a while taught 1 semester a year at City College in New York City, in Harlem. And just up the street at Columbia, you know, some of the best climate scientists in the world are there. A year ago, or 2 years ago, I co-taught with our lead actor, Bill Young, the guy that plays the senator.
Is he the one who plays the senator?
Yeah.
Yes.
He and I taught a Solutions to Climate Change class at University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. And that was really interesting for us because they were Gen Zers, you know, people in their 20s. And we're talking about a rather challenging aspect of climate scientists one day, and one of the kids said, well, we know all of this. And I went, okay, everybody turn off your phones and close your computers, pop quiz, 5 questions about climate.
They didn't,
80-90% of
Yeah.
the class didn't know the question.
couldn't
answers.
answer it.
Couldn't answer.
And I said,
yeah.
so you might think you understand this, but one of the things we need to do is keep learning and going over and improving our knowledge. It's not something, it's not like baking a cake. You mix the dough, make the cake, and you're done.
Right.
This is a difficult, there's a lot of physics and
Yeah.
math and chemistry and
It's
culture and
multi-interdisciplinary,
society
yeah.
and politics. I mean, it's just loaded with stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So this senator, did he get elected with funds from the fossil fuel industry?
He did.
Yes.
So he's got to be answerable to them.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
He's
that's part
got
of his
6
problem.
years. Is it
Yeah.
sometimes if it's at the beginning of your tenure, you're more courageous because they'll forget the next 5 years.
Yeah, and he's at the beginning of his tenure.
He's at
Yes.
the beginning.
Yeah, we
Yes.
got him where his daughter helped him get elected, and she had a list she gave him of things that he needed to do when he was in office, because she believes in her dad. You know.
Wait a minute. She must have known that he was a Republican
Oh,
and that
yes.
he was a.
Yeah.
So
She'd
why
been
did she
working
help
on
him?
She'd been working on him her whole life,
Okay.
and she brought him from far, far conservative to more of a centrist.
Okay.
And so she believes in her heart that
In
she
her
can
heart,
push him
yeah.
Oh,
just
she
over
said
the-
he's going to vote the right way, even though she helped him in his campaign. Didn't she know he was getting a lot of money from the
Yeah, she
fossil
did.
fuel
Well,
people?
she argues with him about that in the movie.
Yes.
actually.
Okay. So what do you play?
I play the secretary to the senator.
Okay, and
Yep.
are you trying to convince him of anything?
No. Purely
Fully
professional
administrative. Yeah.
Well, you do
administrative
tell
role.
them you're scared
Yeah,
at one
yeah.
point.
Well, at one point, you're right, actually. Yeah, so there's a scene where I am going to be giving him a report on climate that he wants, but I've actually read it, and I tell him that I'm scared with what I've read.
Okay, so
So-
he is using you for information.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah.
So are you kind of trying to work on him too, like his daughter is?
Not as much. It's really his daughter that is a focal point for that role than what I.
Are there any other
there's-
senators or lawmakers who
Oh,
are in the
yes.
We
film?
have
Yes.
we have two senators, one Republican, one Democrat, who have just retired. The Republican was both are career professional actors, and they've been nominated. One of them, Mark Mady from Wisconsin, played the Democratic senator, retired from Wisconsin, and he got an honorable mention as a supporting actor in the Milwaukee Film Festival.
Oh.
Very exciting. Ron Tobas from Galena, Illinois, passed away during the project. He was 81. He got nominated for supporting actor in the Milwaukee Film Festival also. He plays a retired Kentucky senator, Republican. But they're friends, back like in the years of Tip O'Neill. And they disagree, but they're willing to talk civilly to each other. And I really worked on that scene because I wanted people to see, look you might be diametrically opposed, but let's sit down, talk. And find common ground. And then we have this Republican.
So actually, in the trailer on the porch, those were the two senators
okay.
that were.
The one
yeah.
that says, "What's so wrong with coal? You want
Right.
a list?"
List.
And then the Republican representative, Bud Willow.
Oh, Bud Willow. Yes. Now that's an interesting character. So he really plays the role of leadership, or the kind of a liaison between Republican leadership, and the junior senator. And this is something that I didn't know a lot about, but Roger had experience with these types of actions, but they have to fundraise so much. I didn't realize how much fundraising all of these representatives and senators. And so Bud Willow is the one that comes into the office and tells Senator Jones, you need to make more money. You need to make those phone calls and get more donations. And that's a fun scene too. I mean, everything that is in the movie is accurate to, politics-wise, climate science-wise, and it's based on our personal experience in lobbying.
Yeah. So, and do you show the climate change advocates coming to lobbying him for his vote?
Not so much.
Yeah, that would have been.
One of the problems that Anne pointed out to me was that I tend to add scenes.
So Roger would meet people and, would you like to be in the movie? And he'd write another scene.
Another scene for that.
So the rough cut was 6 hours.
Oh, wow. And then you edited it down to about an hour and a half?
Yeah.
is that
Down to
the
2,
idea?
and then the last 20 minutes or so was really
But you
brutal.
must feel very gratified at the reception it's received
Yeah.
so far, right?
33
Oh,
film
yeah.
festivals.
Yes.
We've
Yeah.
got some first places. We've got a lot of second places, honorable mentions.
Best ensemble
cast, which is a huge honor.
Yeah.
And Sandy Laub, when
Oh,
she heard
Sandy.
that we got best ensemble cast, I said, Sandy, you are a key part of that because you helped
She's
us.
a wonderful actress. And what did she play?
She plays an oil baroness, but she also helped us with casting. She introduced
Yeah.
us to just all these different
To
people.
John Mills
John
and
Mills,
Corinne
who
Esty.
plays a very interesting character. Corinne Esty, who is the lead female role. Rob, who plays the Wyoming representative,
Bud Willow.
Bud Willow, and herself, and then also just her experience as an actor helped us
Yes.
just better learn the craft.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she plays an oil baroness who yells basically at the senator to make sure he stops the carbon tax.
Yes.
And I remember she saw her the mix on her thing, and she says, "Wow!" But she was so good at her. We filmed that on a yacht in Stonington Harbor. And she's in her yacht, and the senator comes on board, and Bill, who is not a professional actor, but we really put him through the boards, as they say. He practiced a lot with Ron Tobas, and she was so powerful that she intimidated him in reality.
Really?
And you can see it on his face. At one
yes.
time, he just sits back and goes,
Yeah.
and it was,
It was,
we
it was
just
really
love
funny.
Sandra. She's
Yeah.
just
Well, I hate
brilliant.
to think what she's going to do when he votes the wrong way.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see what
Bring
happens.
him on
yeah.
the yacht and drown him or something. Okay, we have a couple of, on a PowerPoint, we have a few slides we want to show, some of the posters and some of the other things. So there it is, Carbon Men's Salvation, the Senator's Dilemma. The climate is boiling, Congress is frozen, one vote could save humanity. How dramatic can
That's
we
our,
get?
yeah, when you try to come up with a tagline,
Yeah.
this is what Ann and I worked
Right.
on this for
Every
months,
day
yeah.
we take a walk, and in our walks we would just brainstorm.
Figure out
And that's,
the
we
right
came up with that. And
tagline.
another one that we entertained was science fact meets science fiction,
Yeah.
or the other way around.
Well, the
Yeah.
title is good too, because someone's got a dilemma. You want to
Yes.
watch it. What's
Yeah.
going to happen? I want to know. I have to watch it now. All right, let's go back. So this is the
Poster.
poster.
And these are the four main characters in the film. Bill Young is the senator on the upper left. John Mills plays several parts in the film. He's on the lower left. Corinne Esty is the woman on the lower right. She plays the senator's daughter.
She's the senator's daughter.
And then I play one of the time travelers. That's me on the right with the crazy helmet.
The crazy
Great.
helmet, yes.
And the bottom are all the film festivals that you've played at
Yeah.
so far. And you said you was 33?
Yeah,
so
that
far?
we've gotten recognition
You got
from.
more than that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, next one. Again, that's just the setting for the whole thing, right? Do you want to just talk about that? It's pretty
Sure,
good.
it's the explanation that the climate is an emergency. The planet is heating up at an accelerating rate, and we're looking at the collapse of this Antarctica glacier. And what's really fun about that is we have a character played by Hans Rolma, who is from the Netherlands, so he's got that great accent. Ann's whole heritage is from the Netherlands. And tell about Hans a little bit.
Well, Hans was a colleague of mine at Pfizer, and so we recruited him to be the Professor Janssen, who is at on the glacier.
Yeah, he's doing research
in Antarctica. So there.
In the summer filming?
Oh, well, that was an issue. So it was August that we filmed. It was like 80 degrees or something in our garage and he was in one of the heavy jackets and a hat with wool hat and scarf, and he's sweating.
Yeah, even though
but anyway.
And I had a picture of Antarctica behind him, so
Yeah.
he's calling in
Right, great.
and giving updates.
Yeah, he was on Zoom calls.
Let's go back to that slide, because go back to that other slide, because I say the vote is imminent. Powerful climate denier factions work against the climate actions, even as the planet teeters on the prime tipping point where human behavior, science, and legislation collide. Only Noah Poem, a time-traveling scientist from the future, can help Anna convince her father, her climate-doubting father, to do the right thing, but time is running out. Science fiction meets science fact. The fate of the human race hangs in the balance. One vote can save you. Well, you have to see that film to find out what happens.
Well, what was funny, we applied
Are you satisfied with the ending?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay,
we've
you
gotten, I would
Very
say,
good feedback.
100%
Yeah.
yays.
The people
on the
like it,
ending.
yeah.
But what was interesting is because we have time travelers, I thought, okay, I'm going to submit this to a couple science fiction film festivals. And so we submitted to the London, UK science fiction, big, huge, global thing. And we didn't get in, and they said, not enough like Doctor Who.
Not enough what?
Like Doctor Who.
Oh, Doctor Who.
Yeah, because he's a time traveling
Okay, right,
wizard.
yeah.
And then we submitted it to a film. We got into several Florida film festivals, but one we didn't get into. But the reviewer sent us his comments, which doesn't happen often.
Right.
And he said, "How can you not like this film?" He wanted it to be entered, and he said, "It reminds me so much of Doctor Who." But they were looking for films that were Hollywood caliber, I would say. And
very sci-fi-ish.
Yeah, and we were up against films that have a lot of professional actors in them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch some of them. We were featured in the Liftoff Film Festival in New York in August. And so they played the film online all month. And we got good viewership. And but the winning film had 2 or 3 well-known Hollywood actors in it.
Really?
And when I watched the film, I went, oh boy.
Yeah.
Was it better than ours? That's a judgment call.
Yeah.
It was very different, and it was a very different subject.
So other than at the film festival, have you had reviews like in a newspaper or a magazine?
We're just starting to get those. We've
Yeah.
had one online magazine blog did an interview of me and gave us good reviews. But in general, not too many reviewers have seen it yet.
Yeah.
And so we're starting that process before our showings in Wisconsin and Illinois.
So we have a little slide about the showing in Mystic this coming Monday, September 15th, right?
Yes.
Maybe someone from the New London Day will be there and
We've
review it.
We've
Have you
invited
invited
Ms.
them?
Dorsey.
Yeah.
We hope she can come.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. Let's go back to the few slides that we have left to show. Okay, so this is your statement. Just summarize, Roger. What did you want to say
Well,
here?
the climate is boiling, and I am a father and a grandfather, and so and Anne's a grandmother and a mother, and we're just so concerned about our children and grandchildren's future, and so that's a real catalyst for us to make this. And we also want people to realize it is so hard to pass a bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and it comes down to how people vote. It comes to how well people understand a topic. You don't have to be a scientist to understand this, but you do need to talk to people who can not make it mystical.
Because sometimes there's, they want to do something about the subject matter, but the bill doesn't do it right.
Right.
That correct.
The bill
That's
isn't written right. The
happened.
legislative language isn't
Yeah.
correct or
There-
whatever.
and we've run, and so that statement reflects that we've run into some very progressive groups that were all or nothing. If we don't get everything we want, we're not voting
Yeah,
for
you
it.
can't do that. All right, let's go back. I think we have next Anne's statement. So what was your idea in your statement, Anne?
Well, I have already kind of spoke a little bit about this, but that that we interviewed 20 or 30 women around the state as part of Citizens Climate Lobby, and in that taping of them, quite a few of them said that they would not have children because of climate change, and that was just like, oof, really affected me, and that's why we also wanted to make a 10-minute film that we could show at the League of Conservation Voters, so the legislators that were there, that this is serious.
So let me ask you, you've had children, you're grandparents now, right? If you were in the same position as these young women now, would you,
Ooh,
how would you,
I'd have a strong
you
second
really
that
would
I
think twice about having
Yeah.
children?
Yeah.
Wow.
So one of
the things that I think is so important, and you kind of already addressed this, when you're voting, if it's something long term, it's very difficult to think and vote for something that's happening in 100 years, in 50 years. You want to know that your taxes are going down or grocery prices are going down, but the climate and environmental issues are long-term issues, and if I had one thing I would like people to do, it would be to try and vote for people, then balance all of those things and holistically with candidates that have a longer term view on these issues.
Interesting. Okay, let's go back. We have a few more. Okay, that's really nice. This is
This
the
is the album cover.
soundtrack album cover.
So we got, from the International Independent Film Awards in California, we got Best Song, which is called Climate Heroes, and the Best Soundtrack. We were #1 gold winner. I mean, this, and when I told all the musicians that were involved in the project, they were so excited.
So are the musicians playing the sound all the time? I mean, you've composed music
I wrote
to go with the
right.
with the movie.
And so what I did is I wanted different sounding. I didn't want me to sing because I'm in the movie, but I also wanted different styles of music. So I wrote songs in rock, folk, bluegrass, country,
Wow.
and blues. And then I had different singers sing them, so they sounded different. And I actually used a bunch of musicians in Wisconsin and Racine, led by Mark Paffrath, a musician that I met. And he has a band called Waiting for Eddie.
So you had to go into a specific recording studio
yeah.
in order to do this.
And then the other studio was the String Theory School of Music, which has a little recording studio here in New London. And I gotta tell you, Noah Feldman and Jacob Graham are the two main drivers for me there. Brilliant musicians.
So what did you have? What were the instruments you had?
We used, well, as I say about Noah Feldman, he can play anything that you can pick up. He's also got a really great blues and rock and roll voice. And so he played guitar, bass, keyboards. He can play drums if you want.
But when we listen to the overall soundtrack, what instruments are we going to hear?
Guitar, bass, keyboards, piano, drums. We got, on the bluegrass one, we have fiddle and banjo.
Great.
Noah played banjo. We got a fiddle player.
Okay, we got another couple slides before we end. And we just finished talking about this, and those are some of the songs. Wow. And then again, this is the cast of characters. All the people that played different characters in the
And total of
movie.
70 people involved.
David Kuhns, is that related to you?
That's my brother. And
your brother, okay.
I needed another time traveler. And Dave has done a lot of improvisational
Were any
acting.
of your children in it, or your grandchildren in the movie?
Well, there's a scene where my granddaughter is, at 2 years old, is running. And then there's a quick shot of my son on a glacier.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. More people.
Yeah, Matt
a
Johnson
nice
is the
crew.
camera
And
guy.
this was just
part of the newsletter.
newsletter that you sent out, and that's the photo of the guy. He's the senator, right?
That's right,
That's
Billy
the
Young.
senator.
Yep.
Okay, and finally, this is another blog. You again just sending out information about the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
And next, I think we have another last one, the press kit, which
Even
I
another,
have.
Yeah.
And this is the last one we want to show because this is going to be at the Mystic Cinema in Mystic, Connecticut, of course, on Monday, September 15th at 6:30.
Yeah, doors open at 6.
$25 per ticket. All proceeds will go to the Connecticut, what is LCV?
Yeah, League of Conservation Voters.
League of Conservation Voters. Great.
And the donation request at the door is $25.
Okay. So we're running toward the end of our hour. I'm so happy that you're here and that you've got this wonderful enterprise and it's going strong and getting stronger.
We have a production company now.
That's wonderful. So we'll look forward to your next movies and so forth and all the awards you're going to win. That's great. And so just give a final word about why it's so important to see the movie and to understand the issue.
Well, I think it really combines a number of things about learning about climate change, the importance of voting, and how you can contribute to all of that.
Yeah. And really the message, our target audience is young people from high school up to young professionals after college. And so that's why we're going to try to get it to universities. And after the film, we are going to have talkbacks, discussion sessions, so that we can get people involved.
That's great, and that's the name of this program, Talk Back.
That's right.
So with that, we're going to say goodbye to Roger and Ann. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheila.
Good luck, and I hope everyone in the community will go to Mystic on Monday evening and see this very interesting film. Okay? See you next time on Talk Back. Bye.